August 30th, 2010. Chapter 597 of One Piece is released, called 3D to Y, and it comes with a bombshell. Instead of reuniting in 3 days, Luffy asks his crew to wait a full 2 years to get back together again, while Oda asks the readers to wait a shorter but still agonizing month to read the next chapter. Chapter 598 will be released October 4th, and even though it was only 4 weeks, the wait felt gigantic. I know, I was there. What kept us going was discussions of what we'll see in One Piece New World, as people started calling it for a while. How strong would they be, the new designs, and of course, was this really the midpoint? Because that means, well, that means that One Piece is gonna have like 1,000 chapters or something. While the excitement and hype of it all is still one of my favorite personal moments of any community ever, it's one that most current readers probably haven't really experienced. I mean, it's been 12 years and an entire new generation of readers. And the popularity of One Piece, even though it was definitely big before, only started reaching its peak during this transition and the years following it. But for all that missed it, Oda has given us another chance of reliving it, as he made another 1 month long break that just finished. And while this time there wasn't any kind of wild time skip or story reset or redesigns, there was an announcement that might just be even bigger. One Piece is ending. Chapter 154 symbolizing the start of the final saga. And for the first time in 14 years that I've been reading this manga, I can definitely say it does feel like it. Again, back in 2010, the time skip essentially told us that there was so much more waiting for us. Then Oda would tell us that One Piece was 60% done in 2012 and 65% done in 2016. And when you're going for this long, it's easy for people to take One Piece for granted. A lot of readers haven't even seen a world without One Piece existing. I mean, it's been 25 years. When you reach that point, people stop expecting it to end. Nobody's asking when Golgo 13 is going to end, or Detective Conan, or Jimmy no Ippo, or Captain Tsubasa, or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. All of those series have been going for so long, they might as well just go on forever. That's why it was such a shock when Kochikami ended after 40 years of serialization. Would One Piece surpass it to be the longest running series in Weekly Shonen Jump? Maybe. There's more than enough memes going around of people saying that One Piece will never end, or will last for 1,000 years, or that we'll have Two Piece next. The idea that One Piece will go on forever and never until all of us but Oda have decomposed and left in darkness is a popular one, believe it or not. I mean, I bet a couple of you read this title and thought, no way that's true, no way One Piece is ending. It's unfathomable to even think so, but it's true. It's happening. Oda just said in an interview this week that he plans on having One Piece end in about 3 years. Now, 3 years ago, Oda had said he planned on ending it in 5, and while a year has been sneakily added there, and Oda said that this isn't a hard deadline, just his wishes, it's basically a certainty that One Piece will end this decade, and we need to start preparing mentally that it's going to end before 2026 rolls around. So let's actually dive into what that means. How much longer is that in One Piece years? I don't really believe that it's going to end in 3 years, and I'm going to explain why in a little bit, but let's just take Oda's words. First of all, we need to understand that 3 years worth of content isn't as little as you may think it is. If it's a chapter every week, that totals 156 chapters. But with magazine breaks, let's round it down to 150. 150 chapters puts One Piece at the very end of Drum Island. At first, that may not look like a lot, but Drum Island is the 10th arc of One Piece. And sure, those arcs are considerably smaller than what they are now, but is it that hard to imagine that 150 chapters can hold 2 or 3 more arcs? To put it even more into perspective, with 155 chapters you can tell all of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, or all of Part 3 with a couple chapters left. You can also reach the final battle of Season 4 of My Hero Academia and the middle of the Elf arc in Black Clover. The only reason why it feels like it's nothing is because Dressrosa was 102 chapters and Wano is at 144 and still hasn't technically ended. And if the final arc is going to be the biggest of them all, then that means that we only have 1 arc left, and that doesn't seem narratively correct. And I agree, I don't think we only have 1 arc left. There's Elbaf to find out, there's still the last road poneglyph to find out, there's still the final weapon Rana's to uncover, there's still Laugh-Tale and One Piece to find, there's still Blackbeard and Im and Akano and the Celestial Dragons to face in some form or another. And while a lot of these can and definitely will happen in the same arc, I don't think we can cram it together in just one final arc. I do think we have like 3 arcs to go through though. Final Poneglyph arc, Laugh-Tale arc, and War against the Government arc. From what I can tell, most people seem to think the Final Poneglyph arc is going to be a shorter one, and I agree. Let's give it 20 to 30 chapters. That gives us with 60 chapters for each arc following that. That may not sound like a lot, but Marineford was only 30 chapters. So if we give the Final War arc 60 chapters, that's still double the size of the epic ending of part 1. 150 chapters are definitely enough, but you may remember me saying that I don't think 3 years are enough. So why am I being a little bit paradoxical here? Because all of this is ignoring the Junetia in the room. One Piece will not have 150 chapters after 3 years, because One Piece isn't published every single week. Oda takes a break every month, and that means that there's less 35 to 40 chapters in 3 years, which changes our math from 150 to 110. And sure, Oda can just not take those breaks to make sure that his bigger vacation comes up earlier, but I don't necessarily think that's the best idea. I see Oda continue to take breaks and realize that he's gonna need another year or so. So yeah, I personally think One Piece is probably gonna end in around 4 years. That's still 24 more years than what Oda thought was going to last when he started, having in mind that his original idea was for One Piece to last 5 years. And I want to thank him for those extra 20 plus years. One Piece has been a constant in half of my life. It has helped me meet friends, it has helped me go through hard weeks, it has helped me smile and cry and spend a lot of money. If it wasn't for One Piece, I'm not sure that I've started anime and manga. One Piece was the first, and sometimes I really thought was going to be the last. I'm scared and excited and nervous for the end. And I'm sure a lot of other One Piece fans are as well. The hype that we're going through is something that can hardly be replicated. So let me know in the comments how excited and scared you are, and if you want to see me talk about more One Piece, there's videos on screen right now that you can click. And if you watch it till here, thank you very much, and I'll see you next video.